We are learning this Amud Yomi Shiur in Bava Metzia Daf Kuf Yud Gimel Amud Aleph in the Mishnah. We're right in the Mishnah Kuf Yud Gimel Amud Aleph. The Shiur is Leilu Nishmas of Imoyri Menachem Ben Akiva Aviva Bas Moshe Sol Bas Moshe Rus Bas Sholem Ulerefu As Chana Bat Sima Ulerefu As Pnina Chaba Bas Geulah Rochel Ulerefu As Erik Yitzchak Ben Miriam Ulerefu As just extra health. Says the Holy Mishnah. The Mishnah is a completely new subject. We are done with the topic of paying people on time. I think the conclusion is one should pay people on time, right? I think we all agree that people should be paid on time. Excuse me? Holy Mishnah says, Hamalve es chaveroi lo yimashkenenu. The new topic that our Mishnah is about is the issue of when a person did not pay on time and it's already payday and the debt was not yet paid. Now, at that point, some people at that point would take a mashkoin. It's called mashkoin, erovoin, ovoit. In English, you can call it collateral. Yeah. In other words, you take an object from the house of the borrower who did not pay on time, right? In this case, we're talking about the two types of mashkonis. The one that the Mishnah talks about is a mashkon taken in case of what? That the time came and he did not pay. We're already beginning to actually collect the debt in the form of a mashkon. He still has time, either 30 days or forever, we're going to see, to not pay the cash, but you took the mashkon. Now, there are many, many rules regarding the mashkon. There are psukim in the Torah. The psukim say a few things that the Torah tells you about how one should take a collateral from his friend. One strong rule is do not humiliate the person, do not degrade him, do not disturb his privacy, do not infringe on his privacy by going to his house. You are strictly forbidden from going into his house in order to take the collateral. There are a billion other details which we'll slowly discover, such as what you can take, what you cannot take. You're also supposed to return it every day and every night if he needs the items. For example, if you took someone's pillow, then you can only take it during the day. Every night you have to return the pillow so he can sleep if that's a pillow that he needs, yeah, right? You need to give him back the pillow, and then in the morning you will take it back. There are many, many questions that may come to our minds. We're at the very, very beginning of the sugya. But basically, our Mishnah is going to deal mainly with the prohibition of entering someone's house in order to collateralize him. Says the Mishnah, Amalve es ukuf yud gimel amud aleph 113a88. Says the Mishnah, Amalve es chaveroi lo yimashkenenu ela bebeis din. So statement number one, yeah, the person who's malve es chavero cannot take the law into his hand. You can't just go to the house, that's for sure. You may not even collateralize him outside Beis Din. We're going to see that too. You can only do that within the legal system, yeah, the legal way through Beis Din. And Beis Din shlichim, Beis Din's people, they will make sure to take the collateral. Comes the second statement: You're not allowed to go into his house to take the mashkoin. Now the question is, who is not allowed to go in? That's going to be today's topic. Is it you, the malve? You from now on you are the lender. Are you not allowed to go in? But Beis Din shliach is a policeman basically. He's allowed to knock on the door, barge in, take, or maybe even he cannot do that. That will be a topic. But definitely there's a general prohibition of entering the house of the borrower to take ad mashkoin. Shenema, it says, b'chutz ta'amod, he should stand outside, and then the pasuk says, v'ha'isha sharatonoi sheboy, who he will take out the item for you. You should, what's b'chutz ta'amod? Stand outside, and the person will bring you out whatever he'd like to, give you as a mashkoin. Continues the Mishnah. Hoyuloi shnei kelim. Let's say the loan was of 1,000 shekels, and he has two items, each one 500 shekels worth. Noitel echad umaniach echad. You take both kelim of 500, but not at the same time. You should always alternate them. You should always take one and give him back the other one, like a seesaw, like a ping pong, like a zigzag. What does that mean? In other words, let's say you took his pillow and his machresha, his plow. Now the plow, it's not so simple you can take it all, because plow is called chaye nefesh. Plow is something you need in order to live. So the only reason why you're allowed to take the plow is you only take the plow at night when he doesn't need it, right? Okay, and the pillow is his by night, and then you switch back and forth, meaning the pillow will always be his by night, in his domain by night, because when he needs it, and the plow by you. Oh, pillow, plow in English works well actually. A plow is by you because it does need it by night. No, you don't plow by night. I never plow by night. I don't. Maybe you do. I don't know. Yeah, but and the other way around. Comes daytime, you give him back the plow and you take the pillow. He doesn't sleep by day. Okay, that's the way it works. That's why, because again, the Torah says you're not allowed to take stuff from people that they need. Again, we're talking about essentials. Yeah, if it's not something that's essential for him, that guy is a borrower. He has 10 pillows at home and only 5 people. Then, as far as I know, you can take the pillow the entire time until he gives you back the loan. Now, the email. What happens if Baruch Dan Emes Mace, the person died? Who died? The borrower died. Let's say the borrower died and it was by daytime, and the pillow happens to be with me, under my domain, in my house, and I'm the lender. If the pillow is by me, I don't have to give it back to his Yoshim, to his heirs. The people, his children who inherited him, I don't have to give it back to them. Says Rashi, why? Because it says in the Pasuk, Loi v'loi Yoshim. You have to give him back the mashkon day, night, the whole balagan. You have to give it to the borrower, not to his children after his death. And we all know, so the question that I always had, and I saw an answer for in the Tiferes Yisrael, what's the means of pressure? What kind of means of pressure is it for him to give me back the loan, right? In other words, if I give back the loan, not the loan, the collateral, the mashkon, the rovoin, I give it back to him when he needs it. He's not missing anything, right? It's not going to pressurize him to give him back cash, right? And according to Chachamim, so far, the way we see it now, soon we'll see another opinion, that can go on the entire life. If he died, listen to the Duke. If he died, then I caught it. I got the pillow. But Lemaisa, if as long as he's not dead, it can be 38 and a half years, yeah? Then this ping pong will continue the entire life, and I'll never get paid, and he's okay with it. And according to Tanakama, what I gain from having the Erovan in my hand is what? Is the fact that if he dies, then I automatically have the payment in my hands. You tell me, please, all of you, what happens if there was no mashko, no rovoin, just if the pillow was in their house and the plow in their house of the Yisoyimim, would I get paid? And the man has no land. No, because Meikar did Dorais and Gemara, yeah, heirs of dead people who borrowed. That's it. Why? Because they didn't borrow and there's no land. There is Takonas Agonim. Otherwise, speak to your local Orthodox poisek if this really happens. Yeah, but Lemaisem. So I gained something as a lender. I have something in mind in case he dies. Another nafkamina is shmita. Shmita is also nafkamina, because if there's no mashkoin, then the choiv by shmita, unless you write prusbul, the choiv is nishmat, is basically being annulled, cancelled. If I have the mashkoin, it's not annulled because it's in my hands, and bal choiv koin and mashkoin. The mashkoin is like mine. Yeah, it makes the loan continue, bridge over shvis through the mashkoin in hands. And could be some other nafkaminas. But conceptually, as of now, what we know by Tanakama and Achanami, the pillow plow game can continue forever until he dies. 1 second. And then the mile is, at least when he dies, I have something in my hands. And the assignment cannot go like, haha, we're not paying you. 1 second. Says another opinion. Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel argues, says Rashbag, we can only play that game of what? Pillow plow, I give you back by night, by day, and you're very, and the loive is like, the loive maybe cares, maybe doesn't care. He's not giving me the cash that I want, and it's been already quite a while since he was supposed to pay. Our Mishnah starting point is what? Our story begins when? A due date, not the beginning of the Alvah, the time when he was supposed to pay, and he didn't. Says Rashbag, game over. 30 days. 30 days is always the time of Beis Din, for Achrazta, for many things. 30 days is a good amount of time that Beis Din changes tactics and gets stronger after 30 days. So if after 30 days you, Mr. Borrower, did not give me the cash it was due 30 days ago, then what will I do? I will not machzir only up to 30 days. Comes 30 days, what do? If 30 days are over, you sell it in Beis Din. You sell the pillow that's worth 500, and you sell the plow that's worth 500, and you get through Beis Din. Beis Din are the ones to decide how much it costs, right? Not you nor him. You're not objective, obviously. The only objective authority over is Beis Din. They will assess how much it's worth. Beis Din would always assess everything. We saw it in Yomi in many places. Beis Din assesses that it's stuck at 500 each. They sell it, and you, the lender, you get cash instead of the. What do you mean instead? You're supposed to get cash originally, yeah. Instead of the temporary objects that were, with you. Let's in this case the plow and the thing. After 30 days, game over, you get cash. That's Oshbag. Tanakama says no. Tanakama can say it takes the whole life. We can discuss it, understand it. It's just a Mishnah. Yeah, let's hope that everything will be explained in the Gemara. Yeah, I'm open for questions for now. And no, he was says now comes Shmuel with one statement. Remember the statement because this statement will be, discussed from all directions. Says Shmuel, almost Shmuel, Shliach Beis Din. Although, what did we say in the Mishnah? You, the lender, cannot go into his house. No way. You have to do it through Beis Din. What can Shliach Beis Din do? Says Shmuel, even Shliach Beis Din, the messenger of Beis Din's worker, even he is limited. Menatech nituchi in, aval mashkuni loy, which means he's only allowed to be menateach or menatek. He's allowed to Shliach Beis Din when the loiva did not pay and it's already due date and people are nervous. He is supposed to Shliach Beis Din disconnect, lenatek, take an object from his hands as he's walking down the street. Shliach Beis Din is like the police. He's like a policeman. He's supposed to take something from his hands as he's walking down the street, worth of something of the same value, whatever. He's not allowed to go into his house. The issue of going to the house applies even to Shliach Beis Din. Although you may argue otherwise, but the Torah and most, we'll see how afterwards, the Torah assumes that it's more humiliating to go into someone's house. I mean, you could argue and say to snatch something from someone in the street may also be shameful. I accept that, and we'll see such an opinion later. But Begadol, no, to go into his privacy, into his house, his wife is there, his children are there. Sorry, it's not. You don't barge into his privacy, and take from him, even as Shliach Beis Din. What Shliach Beis Din can do is what? Is only lenatek, to take from him something worthwhile while he's in the street, while he's, whatever, in Rishus Harabim. Then Shliach Beis Din can take, not in the house. That's Shmuel's Chiddush. What can you do as a Malveh? Nothing. You only do it through Beis Din, as far as we know right now. That's Shmuel's statement. Yes, it could be Befaresia, but it's still not. Again, the guy's not a sweetie guy. He didn't pay on time, right? So, as much as we try to respect him, we still the Torah Kedosha use going to the house worse than meeting him. The street is where people do business. Business is sometimes ugly. It's business at home. Don't mix business and pleasure. The guy's, playing, chess with his kids. His wife is in the kitchen. Don't go to take stuff when this is going on. It's not the right way, says the Torah. But Chiddush is what? What's Shmuel's Chiddush? Even Shliach Beis Din, the policeman, so to speak, cannot go into his house to do that. Unlike what they do in Israel, they're not allowed to do that. Says the Mishnah, frek the Gemara. The Gemara is now going to ask a question on Shmuel. Look what the Mishnah says. The one who lends to his friend, the lender, should not be memashken only through Beis Din. The Gemara understands at this point that the word lemashken is not a general word for taking collateral. Lemashken means, like the Torah says, to take the mashken from the house. So it sounds like that the person himself, the lender, he's not allowed to be memashken to go to the house. Michlal, that is to say, let's infer from here the Beis Din memashkenin. So you see that Beis Din are allowed to be memashken, translated as going to the house. So Beis Din and their people, their people are allowed to go to the house to be memashken. Unlike what Shmuel says, the Mishnah is Meduik, not like what Shmuel said. Omer le Shmuel, says Shmuel, I'm not fazed. Eima lo yenatchenu ela beBeis Din. However, that reads into the Mishnah we're going to see soon. But Lamaisa, what Shmuel says now is no. Really, who's you? You, the Malveh, you're not allowed to snatch it from him in the street. even. You can't go to his house, you can't snatch it in the street from him. But Beis Din can. What? Snatch it in the street. But nobody can go into the house. Now, does mashkenenu doesn't mean mashkenenu to go into the house. Mashkenenu means in the street. In the street is yes for Beis Din, not for the regular guy. The house, Kodesh Kadoshim, as the English say, my home is my castle. Therefore, you don't go to his castle. You only, not attack. You approach him in the street. And who's you? Only Shliach Beis Din and not the person himself. Hachinami mistabra, and it also makes sense, says Shmuel, to read the Mishnah like me. Shmuel is not only defending himself, he's actually now reading the Mishnah, claiming the Mishnah endorses his opinion that the Shliach Beis Din cannot go into the house. The Ktani Seifa, it says in the Seifa, the second part of the Mishnah, Lo ikanes lebeisoi litol mashkoinoi. Again, the Mishnah says, don't go into the house to take mashkon. Money. Who is the person that the Mishnah approaches in its second statement saying he's not allowed to go into the house? Who is that? Ilem Bal Choiv. If you're talking about Bal Choiv himself, the Malve, the lender, Meresha Shmamino. We learned it already from the Resha, right? True? According to the way you read it, if you want to tell me Mamashkinin of the Resha is what? You, the Malve, don't be Mamashkin. You translate Mashkin is going to the house, so saying the same thing twice. Right? So you're saying you're repeating yourself. You, Mr. Malve, don't be Mamashkin, meaning don't go into the house. And then again, and you, the Malve, don't go to the house. I heard that already. Why does Mishnah have to repeat itself again? What for? Elalav must be Shliach Beis Din. That's the Chiddush. Must be, I'm right. Now we can read the Mishnah much, much nicer. Let's read the Mishnah according to Shmuel. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm reading the Mishnah again. You can raise your eyes and go up to the Mishnah if you'd like to. Amal v'eschavero lo yimashkenenu is a general word. Amal v'eschavero, don't take care of the mashkon. Don't deal with it yourself. I can take the laws into my hands. Go to Beis Din. Ela beBeis Din. We're not going to do details. Don't get red in the face. This is not Amud Yomi Shiur now. Go and what? Just go and let Beis Din deal with it in general. What do Beis Din do? The second line is now telling Beis Din what they should do. That's approaching Beis Din, addressing Beis Din. Comes the Mishnah and tells you, Mr. Policeman, Mr. Shliach Beis Din, although you're a policeman, doesn't mean you have to be able to kill the chaya, like many policemen do. But rather, you should what? You should not go into the house, but only memashkenim outside the house. Very good. So nobody can go into the house, and only Shliach Beis Din can meet him in the street and gently take away his something from him. I don't know, his phone. Yeah, that is what the Mishnah says according to Shmuel. Very nice. Zog the Gemara, that's very nice. But imishum ha lo irya. If imishum ha, if that's your diuk, says the Gemara, Shmuel may be right. We're not attacking Shmuel, but we're saying mishum ha. If your diuk is the second statement of the Mishnah, lo irya, that doesn't necessarily show me anything. It doesn't mean anything because I could read the Mishnah differently. We're now basically showing that the Mishnah may be right according to Shmuel, may be read according to Shmuel. We're now offering an alternative way of reading the Mishnah, not like Shmuel. It's not an attack, but we're trying to take away the proof from Shmuel. This is how I could read the Mishnah as follows. Right? The one who is Malves Chaveroi should not be memashken in Beis Din. And what does memashken mean? Going to the house. That is to say, Beis Din are allowed to go to the house. Again, we're reading the Reisha, the word memashken, as a general taking care of. No, excuse me. No, pa. That's the other side. I flipped. No. This way we read the Mishnah as memashken does mean a general idea. It means to go into the house. You, Mr. What? Mr. Lender, don't go into the house. Tell Beis Din to go into the house, and they are allowed to go to the house. Beis Din. This is the non-Shmuel opinion. It's not a real Amoyer. It's the one playing devil's advocate against Shmuel. Yeah, really, Beis Din may go into the house. Ubal Choiv. So it's really Chisuri Mechsera. This Mishnah, like many Mishnahs, is missing a piece. There's an extra piece you have to read during the Mishnah. Ubal Choiv afilu netuchi namiloi. Ubal Choiv, besides the fact that the Shliach Beis Din is allowed to barge in, but the Baal or knock on the door and come in, Baal Choiv, even in a teach, to take it outside in the market is not allowed to. Sheloi kanes lebeso little mashkoinoi. Here we have a big machlokes rishonim. According to Tosfos, there's a gzeira. The gzeira is as follows: midoraisa. So again, shliach beis din can do anything. He can meet him in the market, dark alley, or in the middle of the street. Maybe try not to embarrass him, but take what you have to take. To go into the house, what? Of course, not of course. According to this opinion, he's allowed to go to the house of policeman. It's not Shmuel. That's the other way, yeah? Now, so what's the second redundant statement? It's not redundant. It's talking about the second guy telling me, who's the second guy, the malve, that the malve is not allowed to snatch it in the street, and that's a chiddush. Because lemaisa, whatever your hashkafa is, doesn't matter. The Torah says, don't go into the house. The person himself, the malve. So why aren't you also allowed to snatch it in the street? Machlokes rishonim. Tosfos says, and there's a girsa here with a small letter here, if you see, that says in the side, there's a girsa of the Bach that says, Gzeira Shema Atu. Don't snatch it in the street, you, the malve, the regular guy, lest you come to his house. It's a Gzeira, right? Don't touch a pen on Shabbos, maybe you'll come to write with it. All Gzeiras are like that, right? Don't do X, it's a fence around the real thing. You don't deal with it with the Rabbanon. It's with the Rabbanon. Don't go to him in the street and start snatching, because if you don't find anything right now, he's nothing in his pockets, you'll follow him, but you'll go to the house. That's Issur D'Oraisa. That's Tosfos and other Rishonim. Rambam, I saw yesterday, quoted in the Mefosha Mishnah. Amam says it's D'Oraisa. And the Svar you said says the Tosfos Yom Tov, quoting the Rambam, he says no. The regular person, the Malveh, it's equally bad. Just like you can't go into his house, you cannot snatch it in the street either, because it's as bad, says the Tosfos Yom Tov, if not worse. Right? You could say it's more embarrassing, right? If you use Balbatish's Voros, some people would say, you'd ask the Loive, where would you like him to meet you? I'll see you after school, in the house or in the street. Some people would say house is not as bad, and some would say in the street, right? The Rambam says the Malva himself is not allowed to go to either. Don't approach him with the The Torah says the house, it's only an example. Don't meet him in the house, let alone don't embarrass him in the street. Very good. But that's only you, the Malve. So if we had a chart here, we don't need a chart, I think. Right? Malve nowhere, Shliach Beis Din everywhere. Very simple. That's Lamaisel. If you already shown, according to the non-Shmuel opinion, that's it. In other words, the Isser of going to his house, which really reflects on approaching him in an inappropriate way, house or outside, applies to the person himself, the Malve. Let the policeman do it. You stay out of it. Let the law deal with it, and they can do everything, even barging in. Who is that? That is the non-Shmuel opinion. Shmuel says no. According to Shmuel himself, Shmuel says no. Shmuel says what? Even the policeman, the Shliach Beis Din, cannot go to the house. Only Shliach Beis Din, only outside in the street. That's it. Okay? That is a machloikes. Okay. So it's either Gzeir or it's D'Oraisa. Yeah. Question, quick? Yeah.
How would Shmuel answer?
Meisiv Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef is now asking a question on Shmuel. What is the question? We're going to meet more psukim to do for this Isser. Pasuk number 1. It says, Lo yachvol rechaim v'rechev. Lo yachvol rechaim v'rechev. The assumption of the word, we assume that the word lo yachvol means don't take from the house. Like chavila, don't take the item from his house. Yeah? Chavila means from the house. Don't take out rechaim v'rechev. Rechaim v'rechev basically means the millstone, the grinding stone, the millstone, yeah? The top part and the lower part. Don't take it from the person's house, because it's something that it's very, very necessary. You need it all the time. It's like a person's oven, a stovetop, hob, microwave. You need it all the time. Such a thing, such an important kitchen item, you're not allowed to take. Again, without going to details, that's what the Torah says. Says the Gemara, wait a second, that you're not allowed to take. Advor mecherim chavol, right? Mashma what? Other things you're allowed to take from the house. In other words, it says don't take out of his house the essential things. Mashma, that if it's not super essential, if it's the fourth computer that is the little daughter plays with once a month, yeah, then what? Then I am allowed to take it out. So it sounds like, right? It's not a general question of the whole thing. So you see that some items are allowed to be taken. Actually, many items are allowed to be barged in and taken out. So it seems like And then another Easter, which seems to be very specific. So tachbel beged almana, the widow, she's poor, she's an almana. There's also a tznius issue, which we're going to see later. If a man keeps giving back her night dress, it's lo tzanua. Yeah. So lo tachbel beged almana, you're not allowed to go to the widow's house, barge in, and take her night dress or day dress, even whatever. That you're not allowed to. Almana, the poor woman, ashelacherim tachbel. If she's an okay, well-to-do married woman, yeah, then it's okay. And you take something else, then it's fine. Again, so what do you see? So you see it all of a sudden, something changes here. Up until now, I thought that what you're not allowed to go in at all because it's privacy. My home is my castle. Don't go in. All of a sudden, I read the Torah further, and I see what there are two psukim that tell only this item, only from this person. Man, who is the Torah talking to? If you calculate everything in your mind, you'll see now the Gemara is going to say, "Inem Baal Choiv." Who is the one you're telling me? Yeah, don't go to take this item or from that person. If you're talking about the malve, doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, no. It does say you, and everyone agrees to that. Everyone agrees that the malve, all opinions agree that the malve himself, loy tovel beiso, don't go to his house, avot ein bet vav tes, don't misspell it, is a mashkon. So if I'm the lender, who cares whether it is his fifth computer or something very essential? It's his, I don't know, the writing tool, a sofer stam. What's the difference? It's anyhow, it's all also. Elalav must be what? We're not talking about Bais. Who we're talking about? The Shliach BSD. Shmuel is now in trouble. Shmuel's opinion, Kivyochol. Why? Because the Bala Bais, we're saying, anyhow, is not allowed to take out anything from the richest man in the world, which doesn't pay his debt, or from the poor. That's it. You're not allowed to take. These psukim seem to be relevant. Must be there's someone that is allowed to take out everything barging in, except for these two things. You know who is? I think it's Shliach BSD. Oops. Not like Shmuel said, right? Because according to Shmuel, Shliach BSD is not allowed to go in anyway, ever, right? So who is Mr. X that is allowed to go for everything except for Beged Almon and except for the millstone, right? Must be Shliach BSD. There's someone in the X in the formula, yeah, in the variable. Who is that? Must be Shliach BSD. He's otherwise allowed to go in, except for these items, he's not allowed to go in. That's not good with Shmuel. Because Shmuel said the Shliach BSD is never allowed to go in. Oopsa. Question. Good. Yes. And then it's a question of Yosef on Shmuel. Answers the Gemara. There's an answer. Tirgema of Papa, brother of Nachman, Kamedo of Yosef. Of Papa, the son of Rav Nachman, Tirgema doesn't mean to translate. It means he explained it to Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef is the one challenging here. Some people say of Papa Breder of Yosef, Kamedo of Yosef. In other words, this is a brisa that is explained differently to Rav Yosef. No, what are they answering? Le'olam bebal choiv. Really, it's a bal choiv. First wide line. Le'olam bebal choiv. It's a bal choiv that the Torah is talking to. Because Shliach BSD is not allowed to go in as much as the bal choiv. Nobody's allowed to go in. So what's the Torah telling me? It's telling the Baal Choiv not to go and not to take the essentials or the almona's clothes. But he's not allowed to go anyways. True. He has two lavim that he broke, which means, as we very recently saw in the previous sugya, that sometimes you can do one avera, 5 lavim, right? That is what? If you don't pay on time. Eat one worm. Chas v'sholem. If it's an aquatic creature, it's 4 lavim. Something crawling in the ground, 5 lavim. If it flies in the air, 6 lavim. More in Makkos. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So then, right? What do you say? Here there are 2 lavim. If you took the 5th computer of the rich person, you over 1 lav of what? Of not going to the house. Right? If it's a poor woman with a clothes, or if it's something essential, then you over an extra lav on those items. But still, it's talking about who? The regular malve, not Shliach BSD. So Shmuel stands by what he says. Shliach BSD and the person himself, the malve, all of the same status, they're not allowed to go in. They're not allowed to go in. If they went in, they're over 1 lav. I'm not sure if Shliach BSD is over lav or not. That will be discussed. We're going to see that soon, actually. But let's focus now on the person, the malve. If you took out regular stuff for most people, 90% of the cases over 1 lav. if it's a red hot case, if it's a red alert case, it's a poor person, it's a rechaim v'rechiv, something essential, there's an extra love, the same person is over. That's how Shmuel would learn it. But really, Shliach Beis Din, no, he's not allowed to go in either. He can only meet him in the marketplace. Shmuel stands by what he says. Shmuel survived the question. Toshma. Now we come again to read the psukim of the Torah. It says in the Torah, Bachutz Tamoid, yeah. I'll read you the pasuk. It says in Dvorim Chavdaled, Bachutz Tamoid, you, whoever that is, let's assume it's the Malve. Everyone agrees the Malve is not allowed to go in, right? The Malve himself cannot go in. You know, it's a cordoned off for him halachically, that's for sure. Bachutz Tamoid, the man that you claim the money, you collect the money from, he should take out the ovoit, the whichever item he chooses, hopefully worth the same amount. He takes it out to you, and you have to take that, whatever he chooses, and of course, you have to assess it's the same, whatever, it's the same value. Okay, again, let's read the Brisa. The Torah already told me you stand outside. If it says to you, if the Torah told me the whole story already, there's a milva, there's a loan, there's a guy who has to be paid, and you go to his house, so you stand outside. Hi, I came to take the thing, but I'm not going in. You're not allowed to go in. And I know that the collateral is supposed to be taken. Then, of course, I know that the next scene is going to be what? Him taking the collateral. Who? The loive, right? So why does the Torah have to speak it out? The Torah is not chas v'sholem fairy tales to just speak out and start getting all flowery. I can figure out myself that if I'm not allowed to go in, right, and I'm by the door, b'chutz tamud, and someone's taking it out, well, must be it's the other guy. Who else is there? Ela matal mudloimer ve'aish. So why does the Torah speak out and elaborate on ve'aish and the man? L'rabbi shliach beis din. Oh, the word ve'aish, yeah, is not ha'isha shatanoi shaboy, which means ha'ish. There are three people in the story. And that is a chiddush, my friends. I wouldn't have known it myself. There are three people in this scenario. Yeah, you want to make a movie out of it? Get three actors. There's a malve, loive, and the shliach beis din. The ish is not actually, and also the word the comes to add that the shliach beis din has the same status as one of the parties. Says the Gemara, my love, shliach beis din keloive. Must be that shliach beis din is like a loive that is what? Allowed to go in. Oh, the shliach beis din is ve'aish. You stand outside, and the man, no, not the man you thought. No, not the loive. Shliach beis din ve'aish, and the man, the shliach beis din, has the same status of the loive, and he can go in instead of you, just like the loive is obviously allowed to do whatever he wants inside his house. Shliach beis din is equalized to the loive. He is allowed to go in and take from the house. Oh, so you see again, against Shmuel, you see the shliach beis din is allowed to go in, right? Haisha shatanoi shaba is not the borrower. The ish, shliach beis din is tantamount to the isha shatanoi. He's allowed to barge in and take out the nice stuff outside. So you see, not like Shmuel. Says the Gemara, no. The Gemara is defending Shmuel. No, loy. Shliach beis din kemalve. No, not necessarily. Could be that ve'aish is coming to add a third figure here. Maybe it's coming to tell me the other way. You stand outside, ve'aish, you and the man, who's the man, ishliach beis din, you both stand outside and you're not allowed to go in, right? And that is a chiddush. That's not fairy tales. Again, according to Shmuel, how do you read the pasuk? Bachutz tamoid, you, who's you in the story? Who's the Torah addressing, forbidding from being too aggressive? Who? The malve, lender. Don't get too aggressive with the guy who didn't pay, right? You stand outside. Bachutz tamoid, stand outside. Hold right there. Stay right there. Ve'aish, and the mysterious man who is really shliach beis din has the same status as you. Is only allowed to stay outside, not go in. Says Shmuel. That's how he reads the Torah. And the one with your noishe, the one that is the borrower, only the borrower is allowed to take out whatever he wants from his house, from his kitchen drawer, from his bedroom drawer, and he'll give it to you. That's what Shmuel learns the posuk. And therefore, the posuk can be read. By the way, so far, if you're following, let's summarize. Nobody is, it's what? Very good. It's a tie. In other words, we haven't proved from the Mishnah. The Mishnah can be read like Shmuel or not like Shmuel. The Torah can be read either like Shmuel or not like Shmuel. So far, we haven't proven anything. And again, let's summarize. So, what's the machlokes between Shmuel and any other opinion? We haven't seen a clear so far Moira saying not like him, but we saw potential challenges to Shmuel. So, what is it? What does Shmuel say? No, that the shliach Beis Din is not allowed to go into the house of the loiva, not even him. So how would I get my loan back? Let's say I lend someone, it doesn't give him back. It's been already 30 days, and it didn't get. Let's say we decided 30 days. He did not pay. What I do? I go to Beis Din. What can Beis Din do according to Shmuel? What can the shoitrim, the shlichim, do in order to enforce the law? Knock on the door and stand outside, or in the marketplace. Or in the marketplace, not taking his house, outside. Yeah, they can ask him to bring it out if he chooses to. I don't know if they can't go in and force themselves, but Lamais, they force him to do that. Or they can meet him in the market, see you after school, as they say. Yeah, or they shouldn't say. Yeah, and then they take it from him, they snatch. What can you do? I mean, it's embarrassing, but yes, to how much you can tolerate, right? That is according to Shmuel. What would be the opinion arguing in Shmuel? What would they say? Beis Din can go in, very good. Beis Din can go in and definitely meet him outside. Mashenkin, the person himself, right? The malve cannot go in and cannot meet him outside either. Either the Raisa or the Rabbanon, that's the kula element. Yeah, the person to see him outside and snatch from him outside, it's not machlokes Shmuel in the other opinion. It's machlokes Rishonim, Tosfos versus Rambam, whether it's the Raisa or the Rabbanon. I hope you got that clear. That's not machlokes Shmuel. Yeah. In other words, you, Mr. Regular Malve, if you can approach him in the street and snatch from him, and you assessed it, and you're a good guy, but you didn't pay, and you need to pay for Yom Tov meals for yourself, and you said, okay, I see him in the street, and I know 1,000,000% that his wallet is worth the actual wallet, not the money inside, and not his phone. I know his phone is worth 2,000 shekels. Yeah, I don't know, smartphone 2,000 shekels. Am I completely out? I don't know how much, whatever, 2,000 shekels for the phone, and he owes me 2,000 shekels. Can I snatch it from him? No. The question is, it's the Raisa or the Rabbanon. According to Torah, it's the Rabbanon. You're not allowed to go into the house. I'm not in the house, I'm in the street. Yes, but if you come to do it in the street, you may come eventually to do it in the house too. Stay away from sin. That is always the Rabbanon. The Rambam, I haven't seen the Rambam inside, but I've seen Tosfos Yom Tov quoting him as saying, no, it's as bad. When the Torah says don't barge in, to you as a person, don't take the law into your hand, whatever happens. Not inside and not outside either. It's equally bad. Or the street could be even worse. So who can deal with him? Only Shliach Beis Din, Machlokes Shmuel and non-Shmuel, let's say, whether Shliach Beis Din can go into the house or not, right? Or just him in the street. Toshma. Okay, it says another pasuk here. Im chovel tachbol salmas re'echo. Yeah, it says if you chovel, which again we assume that it talks about going into the house. By the way, Rashi says the word lachbol, which has many meanings, like to sabotage, to harm. Over here, lachbol means from the house. How do you know? Because the Torah says lo tachbol rechaim v'rechev. Rechaim v'rechev are kitchen utensils. They were very basic utensils back then. It's not like today, yeah? It's like your oven today. Where's your oven? Indoors, hopefully, yeah, right? Okay? And therefore, rechaim v'rechev are indoors, so the verb lo tachbol means don't go in, don't barge in, okay? Im chavel tachbol salmas re'echo, if you do chavel salmas re'echo, ad b'Hashem sheshivenu lo, you have to give it to him by night. Yeah, let's say you took out his pajamas. Every night you have to give him back his pajamas, like the pillow, like we spoke about before. Says the Brisa, b'shliach Beis Din kosuv medaber. We're talking here about shliach Beis Din. Okay, that's what we assume. Shliach Beis Din goes in and has to go out again and has to give them to him. You're telling me that pasuk that tells me about taking the night dress, the night pajamas, not from the almono, stam, from a regular person. Yeah, you're telling me it talks about shliach Beis Din. How do you know? How do you know? Maybe the Baal Chov is the one who came in. Says the Torah, no. Yeah, it says the Baal Chov anyway is not allowed to anyway go into the house, right? Baal Chov, everyone agrees, is not allowed to go in. So we already mekayim the pasuk by B'chlal not going to take any pajamas or any item at all by Baal Chov. So must be mani mekayim im chovel tachbol salmas re'echo, right? Shliach Beis Kosu Medaber. In other words, if you go into the house, who's going to the house? Must be Shliach Beis Din. This is not good news with Shmuel. Not good news for Shmuel, right? You thought you heard bad news today? Shmuel, Kivyochol, has bad news, right? Because what's the Torah telling me? If someone came into the bedroom and took the pajama, who's that? Definitely not the Baal Chov himself. So Shliach Beis Din can do that. Oh, bad news. Answers the Gemara, Tanoi. Oh, Mazel Tov. Apparently, it's a machlokes Tanoi. We're going up one level now, and all that ambiguity that we have now is getting clearer and clearer. The dust is settling. It's really machlokes Tanoim, this issue, the Tanya. It says, quoting here machlokes Tanoim Ebraisa, Shliach Beis Din shebo lemashkenoi, as you very nicely said, is staying outside in order lemashkenoi, lo yikanes lebeiso lemashkenoi. The Shliach Beis Din comes to be memashken, to take it from his house. Oh, it's a good example. Even in modern Hebrew English, when you say I'm going to a neighbor's house to borrow milk, do you mean I'm going to barge into the fridge and borrow the milk? No, you're going to stand outside and borrow the milk, right? You tell your wife, darling, I'm going to borrow milk from the neighbors. You don't mean you mean you'll stand outside like a mensch and ask them, do you please have milk, right? So again, came lemash. No, you don't do that. Okay. No, so you don't barge in. I said you don't barge in. No, don't. Lemashkenoi, so the mashk shliach Beis Din who came to his house doesn't mean physically. However, loikans lebeisoi lemashkenoi indoors. Don't knock. Eventually you should. No, the other opinion would say he can even force himself inside. I think so. Ela oimed mi bachutz, but he stands outside. Who the shliach Beis Din? The halo, who's halo? The loive. Moitziloi mashkoin shenemer bachutz ta'amoid ve'aish. Very good. So one brisa, finally Shmuel found a raya. Shmuel is now relying on a brisa, on a Tana. That's an amazing thing for Shmuel, right? There's a Tana that says mufurash that the Shliach Beis Din can only stand outside, and the man, who is the man? The loive is taking out for him whatever the loive chooses, feels is the right thing to take out. Very nice. Okay, very good. So now Vetanya Idach. There's another brisa that says otherwise. Baal Chov sheba lemashkenoi lo yikanes lebeiso lemashkenoi elo oimed b'chutz Baal Chov. Same thing, but a different person. Baal Chov himself, with the Baal Chov, the lender, he's knocking. Knock nicely and gently if you want. Yeah, stand outside. Don't go in. The other one is who the loive is the one who takes whichever mashkon that you like. Shenem b'chutz tamoid. The Shliach Beis Din sheba lemashkenoi are ze nichnas lebeiso umemashkenoi. It's not the end of the brisa, but it's the end of the Shiur. Now 10:25. Clear, straight machloikas. The other opinion says that the Shliach Beis Din goes in and memashkenoi. Now memashkenoi also means not only barging in on the privacy, also it shows that the choira, I think, it also means that it's a choice of the Shliach Beis Din, not the choice of the loive. When the loive is the one who comes out to you, he chooses which pajama to give you. He would choose the one that he didn't use for the past 20 years. It's out of fashion. Yeah. Mashen can, if the Shliach Beis Din comes in, the choira Shliach Beis Din is the one who chooses what to take. The pashtus, unless we see otherwise. Bekitzer, Machlokes Shmuel and the others, very clear. Machlokes Tanoim. So anytime you have against Shmuel, Shmuel will tell you, I'm sorry, I follow a Tana. I follow the other Tana. The Tana says Shliach Beis Din doesn't go in. The other Tana says Shliach Beis Din may go in. A person himself, the Malvek, can never go in to take the mashkon. We're in the middle of the brisa, Be'ezras Hashem tomorrow. Thank you to everyone on Torah Anytime and everyone in our YouTube channel. Thank you for all the likes and many views that we have, Baruch Hashem. There will be oil in Torah, mitzvahs, Ma'asim Tov in this coming year. I'm also going to have a short inspirational message for Yom Kippur, Metzia Hashem, on Thursday, I guess. Be'ezras Hashem. Thank you, Atzlocho, Rabba B'chol Inyonim. I'm hearing more questions now. It's fine. Have a great day. Thank you very, very much, and see you tomorrow.